Welcome back to Cup Check, everybody. And today, on a somber note, we're talking about 2022 pitcher busts. It's going to be a tough one to get through. What do you think, Dawson?
Don't let Zach trick you into saying this is a somber note. He's been ready to shit on these guys all day. All right. These are some guys that he does not believe in at all. He probably doesn't even think they belong in the league. And I got three guys. I could see some minor regression coming in. So we're going to get into that today. Zach, any words?
Yeah, you can say what you want, but this is going to be a tough one. I might shed a tear on this episode. But with that, let me get started with my first bust, who's going to absolutely suck in 2022. And my number one's Logan Gilbert. I think most people have him as a breakout, and that's kind of why I wanted to put him as a bust, because I don't think he's got enough stuff. I think he's too wild with the fastball, and I think he's too wild with the fastball. I think it's kind of flat. It doesn't have much movement, and he's got the curve, but I don't know. I'm sorry, Logan. I'm sorry, man.
Dude, come on. Don't come on my mariners like that.
Who's your first buster?
I love me some Logan Gilbert, man. You know, he doesn't have to be the Cy Young right out the gate. We're going to give him time. He's going to develop. He's young, Zach.
No, and I'm saying he could still develop, but I don't think next year is the year. Maybe a couple years.
That's fair. You know, he might not be fantasy relevant for a few years, but that's a guy who could profile to be something special one day, and I'm really hoping he does. For my first pitcher bust, all right, this is kind of a big one. And I'm not saying a bust isn't like this dude just falls like completely out of relevancy, but I'm ready to say it. It's time for Aaron Nolan not to be a top 15 pitcher, man. I'm ready for Aaron Nola to kind of regress a little bit. I had the dude on my team that one year where he put up 9 WAR for no reason. and I loved it. But, this last year was a little bit of a struggle for Nola. He really had some ups and downs. And I'm hoping he figures it out, because I wouldn't mind seeing Bryce Harper playoff baseball. But I got Nola regressing a little bit below. And I think a lot of that just comes with there's a lot of guys that I think are ready to break out into that top 15 range that might push him out. So.
All right. Yeah, he started to decline a little last year. Could be going the wrong direction. We shall see. My second bust, and this one hurts me. This one just destroys me to say it, but I'm going Carlos Rodon, because I think he's too much of an injury risk. I think he's one of the biggest injury risks in this 2022 pitcher class. I think he's got elite stuff, but he seems like the prime injury candidate. So as much as it pains me to say, I'm rooting for the guy, but he's my second bust.
All right. That's one that hurts me too. I had Rodon on my team last year, and he was really, really good when healthy. So that's just kind of a guy that I believe in, and I'm really hoping for the best for him. My bust my next bust coming up is a little bit of an interesting one. I have Yu Darvish actually as my second bust, and this guy really had a tale of two halves last season. The sticky was happening. He was doing great. He was 7-3 with a 3 ERA. Pretty solid for an older pitcher. Second half of last year, Zach, are you ready for this? This might blow your socks off.
I'm ready.
He was 1-8 with a 6.16 ERA after the sticky ban.
Holy cow, that blew my socks off.
Did it really? He went 61 innings with 42 earned runs in the second half. And, you just don't really expect that from Yu Darvish. The strikeouts dropped dramatically as well. He went from striking out averaging a little over 1 strikeout an inning to averaging, never mind. He averaged over a strikeout just by a hair both times, but he had more strikeouts with the sticky stuff. Yu Darvish has been on the pitcher Instagrams and all of that recently with that nasty slider, but no one was checking him for the stick. All right. So I just have to assume that there might have been a little icky on that ball. And for that reason, I'm going to have to sticky away from you, Darvish, in the draft.
All right. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. My last
That ERA
bust.
stat line really just blow your mind? Like,
No, I did. It really
you
did.
Darvish
I was
with a
not
6
expecting.
ERA. Like, wow. You just don't think
Really.
of you Darvish that way.
All right, my last bust. It's more a testament of just how good he was in 2021. And unfortunately, I'm going with the Robbie Ray. He was a guy that used
Attacking the Mariners on all fronts tonight, Zach.
he was a guy that used to struggle so much with walks, to the point that it was like kind of absurd. He just walked like freaking so many guys, and then he finally last year figured out that walk thing. I'm expecting some steep progression just because for a guy that was as inconsistent as he was, it's hard for me to see him being so consistent for a whole nother season. What about you? Who's your last
Yeah, I
guy?
know. I know he's probably a prime regression candidate. I'm actually gonna go after one of your favorite players now. Drum roll, please. I'm going with Sonny Gray. Um, I know this one really pains Zach. You know, Sonny Gray's been his dog for a minute now. I think his future is uncertain. I think the Reds are just looking to absolutely burn the team down. So Sonny Gray could be going. Like I would imagine that they would part with Sonny Gray before they give up Luis Castillo. And depending on where Sonny Gray goes, I could be a little worried for him. You know, he's pitching in a tough ballpark in Cincinnati, but he put up a 4.2 ERA last year, and that's just not really what you expect out of Sonny Gray. So I'm a little worried that we might have seen the best days of Sonny Gray.
He is at that age, and the Reds are trying to get rid of guys, but I hope he does well. We'll see. But
I'm a little nervous for the two-time All-Star. You know, he's at that age where an injury could kind of just end the career. It's just sad to say, but
he's still got really good stuff. I'm still like decently high on him, but I can see where you're coming from.
Sonny Gray, if you're watching this video, we love you, man, and we're praying that you bounce back. I'm just a little concerned.
All right, with that, that does it for our pitching bust few. That was a tough one to get through.